When we think of Thanksgiving today, images of roasted turkey, pumpkin pie, and family gatherings immediately come to mind. But the origins of this tradition stretch back over 400 years, to the autumn of 1621, when a fragile group of English settlers, known as the Pilgrims, celebrated a harvest feast alongside the Wampanoag people. This event, remembered as the first Thanksgiving, was not just about food. It was about survival, diplomacy, and the fragile beginnings of what would become colonial America. The Pilgrims had arrived aboard the Mayflower in November 1620, landing at Plymouth after a grueling journey across the Atlantic. Their first winter in the New World was devastating. Of the roughly 102 passengers who set out, nearly half perished due to cold, hunger, and disease. By spring, those who survived faced an uncertain future. It was in this desperate situation that they encountered the Wampanoag tribe, led by Chief Massasoit. With the help of two key native allies, Samoset, who first greeted the Pilgrims in English, and Squanto, who had previously been captured and lived in Europe, the settlers learned how to grow corn, use fish as fertilizer, and adapt to the unfamiliar land. Without this knowledge, the Pilgrims may not have survived another year. By the fall of 1621, Plymouth Colony experienced its first real harvest. For the settlers, this was a moment of relief and gratitude. To mark the occasion, Governor William Bradford and military leader Miles Standish organized a celebration. They invited their native allies, the Wampanoag, who played a vital role in their survival. The Wampanoag did not arrive empty-handed. Accounts suggest that around 90 native men came to Plymouth, bringing with them venison, fish, and other foods. For 3 days, the two groups feasted together. There were games, displays of musket drills by the Pilgrims, and traditional dances and ceremonies from the Wampanoag. It was less like a family dinner and more like a festival, a shared moment of peace between two very different worlds. To the Pilgrims, this feast was an act of thanksgiving to God for delivering them through hardship. To the Wampanoag, it was an extension of diplomacy, a reaffirmation of an alliance with the newcomers, who could serve as potential allies against rival tribes. However, it is important to recognize that this peace was fragile. While the first Thanksgiving symbolized cooperation, tensions between colonists and native peoples would grow in the decades that followed, leading to bloody conflicts such as King Philip's War later in the 1670s. The 1621 feast was never called Thanksgiving by the Pilgrims. At the time, a Thanksgiving was usually a solemn religious day of prayer and fasting. It wasn't until 1863, during the Civil War, that President Abraham Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday, framing it as a time for unity and healing.